This morning's guest has shredded his way to success. Meet him and find out about his business. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at East of Chicago Pizza, where pizza's done right at 3901 North Kings Highway in Myrtle Beach. We're focused on a small business in the area, and we're visiting with its founder and owner of Shred Alert, Adam Parness. Good morning. In the 2006 Small Business of the Year from the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce, which was a huge coup.
It was great.
How the heck did you win that? I mean, all the competition for small businesses in the entire Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce?
It's customer service. Customer service.
When I saw you step up to accept that award at the big annual meeting there, I believe in October of 2006, to see that, or maybe it was last year, to celebrate 2006, whenever it was a pretty dang big deal.
Yeah. It was quite exciting for us, and we're really excited to have that designation attached to our company.
Absolutely. Did I also see your father at that event?
Yes. That's
He was there, which was very exciting, having some family members there.
Mom and Dad were both there.
That is tremendous, Adam. Well, of course, having some props here, not always do we have guests that have some cool props to bring in, but this is more than just cool. This is something that highlights everything that can be destroyed there at Shred Light, and of course at Shred Alert, and of course the real excitement there, the opportunity to talk about recycling today as well. Great to get you in. Are you originally from the area, Adam?
I'm originally from a county called Rockland County in upstate New York, and I lived there until 1987.
Right.
Mom and Dad purchased a second home here in Garden City, and while I was here on vacation, I had applied for a job as a police officer in North Myrtle Beach, and I got the job. So I came down in 1987. I've been here ever since. It's been just over 21 years now.
Wow, that's tremendous. And of course, even more exciting, just celebrated the 6th anniversary for Shred Alert just this month.
Right, we started the company in August of 2002, and it's been going strong ever since. It's a great business. We really enjoy helping people help themselves.
Oh, absolutely. How did you make that transition from being, did you stay with the North Myrtle Beach Police Department your entire time before founding Shred Alert?
Well, I worked in North Myrtle Beach as a public safety officer, and you're a police officer with firefighting duties also. So you're cross-trained as a policeman and a fireman.
Wow.
And I left there, went to the Horry County Police, and worked there for another 5 years. And that's when I started a small business, which I had sold. I began a second small business, a printing company. And from that, I launched into the paper shredding company.
I did not know you'd done all that, Adam. My Lord.
We worked for, me and my brother started the printing shop, Pronto Press.
Right. Right.
And we used to work for our father's printing company in New York.
Is that right? Boy, well, you've got a few more years on you than I can imagine after 21 years down here if you were working in a printing business up in New York.
Don't give it
I know,
up.
I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch that. But, and of course, right now I see you're also a commercial real estate. You do some work there with Sperry, Van Ness, Trans Commercial.
Yes, just I've been, prior to real estate, I've been involved in the Horry County Planning Commission for a number of years, almost 9 years.
Right.
And I got, I got an education on growth and development and where growth is going, and it was just a natural transition when my term was expiring to go into real estate, and I concentrate on land tracts and commercial projects.
Right. Well, almost nine years there with the Horry County Planning Commission, but more 6 years, I believe I saw, plus as the chairman.
Yes, I was elected chairman by the members and served in that capacity for 6 years. It was quite challenging. It was actually fun to do the job, to be a part of the growth and development, and to actually see today the positive changes that we have put into Horry County. Just driving down 501, I can see it. I know what we did. I know the ordinances we created, and it's exciting to know that this county is growing in the right direction.
Absolutely. Share with viewers real quick why the county needs a planning commission. A lot of counties don't have one. Let's say even in our viewing area, some other counties may not have a real active planning commission.
Well, in South Carolina, it's state law that requires a planning commission to review all projects before it goes to the governing authority. in our case, it would be county council.
Okay.
So anything that comes in front of county council that they're agreeing or they're voting for has already been looked at by the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission handles things such as creating ordinances, looking at zoning, and creating a comprehensive plan for the future.
Tremendous. And as you say, you really can see that on 501. There's probably not too many places in the county that you couldn't drive and see something that was impacted by the Horry County Planning Commission.
Absolutely. And you know, years ago, we've always been reactive for many, many years because of the way the growth has come about in this county, and it's just been very fast and rampant, and some might say. But now, from that reactive stance, it's more proactive.
Right.
Everything is looking into the future and planning for tomorrow. When you hear when people run for office, they speak about quality of life, and really that's the goal of the Planning Commission and your governing authorities, your councils, your city, county councils, is to make sure that you have, whether you have a good quality of life or something that's improving.
What prompted you to accept to volunteer for the Horry County Planning Commission almost 9 years ago? I mean, that's a tremendous responsibility.
Well, I was running for office in
really?
1998. I ran for county council.
Right.
And came just a few votes short of getting that designation.
Is that right?
About 35 votes.
Oh, come on.
So I was kind of short.
What district was that?
It was District 8 in Conway.
Okay.
And it was an interesting race. Ran against Ms. Gilland, who's the chairman now.
Oh, the chairman of county, yes.
And, but she wasn't the chairman at the time.
Right.
A lot of other factors had existed in that race that had nothing to do with politics or government. It was just
she
the
an
time.
incumbent at the time?
She was
the
incumbent.
incumbent.
Correct.
Wow.
And I was really living in Socastee, but my lines got redrawn and my subdivision got put in her district. And we jokingly today say, you know, she was trying to help me, but it didn't work, and I ended up running. She says I ran against her. So today we have a great relationship. Being chairman of council, me being chairman of the Planning Commission, we had to work together for many, many years, and I've enjoyed that relationship.
That's tremendous.
So while I was running for office, when the election was over, former councilman Marvin Hyde from Socastee had approached me and said, you know, Adam, you've really showed how you are and how much you care about this county during this election.
Right.
How would you like to serve on the Planning Commission? And I said, Marvin, I don't know anything about planning.
Yeah.
And he said, you'll do fine, you'll learn. So he appointed me to the Planning Commission. I got reappointed after 4 years, and been there for about 8.5 years. And
that's tremendous.
During that time, they created a term limit, so I had to leave, which is good because you always bring in new people with new ideas and a new way of doing things.
Well, that is a big deal. Now, would you ever consider possibly running for office again? Is that something that got in your blood?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Really? Yeah.
I ran again in 2002.
Right.
And against Liz one more time.
Oh boy.
Another close race, and it was 52% again, but it wasn't, the timing wasn't right. And I'm just going to enjoy being out of the political spotlight for a while before I make that decision. But yeah, I'm most likely will run for something again in the future.
That's tremendous, Adam. Well, of course, focusing on Shred Alert, focusing on Sperry Van Ness Trad Commercial, and your two boys.
Yes.
Which is a big deal, and obviously very time-consuming. They started school this week.
Yes. On Monday night they had orientation. Right. And yesterday was their first day. DJ and Matthew.
Right.
And they're 8 and 13, and they just they are happy to be back in school. I've never seen children. I remember when I was young, but they were happy to go back. They were excited, and it says a lot for the school. They go to Calvary Christian School on 544.
Great, yes, which has a tremendous background and really committed to, I'm sure, growing those boys and all their students.
It was just, it's a great feeling to know that your children are getting an education and that they're loved at the same time.
Right, very definitely. Adam, of course, all this sitting right here, when you think of that transition into founding the Shred Right Corporation, now known as Shred Alert, this is a real big deal. What do you think spurred this door to open up, or what happened exactly?
Well, it's an interesting story. It was during the 2002 election. Something in the world of big business had occurred, and it was the Enron fiasco. And what intrigued me about the Enron disaster, so to speak, was not the illegality of what had occurred, but that some company showed up to their accounting firm's headquarters, which was Arthur Anderson,
Right.
and destroyed their records in the parking lot. And I thought, that's a business? So I started doing a little research. I got on the internet, made some phone calls, and created a little marketing plan and did a business reply postcard to about 1,500 businesses in Horry and Georgetown County, just to see if this was a type of service that was needed in this community.
Right.
I didn't know that there was already other companies which are located outside of the state,
Right.
in other states, in up north and out west, that have a market share, and they come down and they destroy records here. I didn't know anything about that. I just started my company,
Right.
got the response back, and said, "Wow, this is a viable business."
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, I went into it, and it was just me. I bought a truck that had shredding equipment on the back, and I rented a warehouse, and I would go to an office and to one of these companies that responded on the business reply postcard, and I'd pick up their records, and I'd stand in the back of the truck and shred it and store it,
Right.
and it just kept growing. And now there's 8 employees. We have 4 trucks on the road, and we
Tremendous.
cover from Georgetown to New Hanover County in North Carolina.
Is that right? All the way up to Wilmington?
The other side of
Yeah.
Wilmington, yeah.
That's tremendous, Adam. Golly, well, your trucks are on the road quite a bit
They're,
then.
they're busy, and it's identity theft is the fastest growing crime in America. 1 in 4 persons will become a victim this year.
No.
And there is state and federal law that requires businesses to destroy the records before they get discarded. Whether you do it in-house with a paper shredder or whether you use a professional shredding contractor such as our company, the law says you must do it. And I would venture to guess that only maybe 10% of companies actually do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what? And that's federal law
Federal law, yeah.
that requires that. And is it very basic? I mean, is this something that any business owner should understand?
Every business should destroy records. The law says that if you're handling anyone else's personal, private, financial, medical, anything could be their social security number, anything can be compromised, and it must be destroyed before it gets discarded. The beauty about a company like ours is we come in, our machines handle paper clips and staples and
Right,
booklets.
right.
We can run a 3-inch 3-ring binder full of records through the shredder, and everything gets destroyed: the paper, the binder, and the 3 metal
You are
rings.
kidding.
And
how does
and
that
these are
shredder do that? Yeah.
It's so powerful. This kind of shows you. This is a license plate.
Right.
And you can see inside the license plate. That's how powerful the blades
let me
are.
hold that up so see if viewers can get a sense of that. This is actually a license plate, or was a license plate, a South Carolina tag.
Don't spin it all the way around.
Right. Oh, that's right. Don't want to let anyone know whose it is. Yeah.
And we also do, on top of, and this is what paper would look like. This is a shredded paper, and you can see it just breaks it up. Now you might be able to see words on the paper, just like any shredder.
Sure.
But after we shred the paper, it gets baled and compressed into these 1,500-pound blocks and goes to a paper mill for recycling.
So all the paper is recycled.
Everything gets recycled.
That's tremendous.
When it gets recycled, it goes down this conveyor belt where pulp and water and acid get sprinkled on the paper, and the paper turns into liquid. So anything that you can see, this will become liquefied.
So no one from the outside can actually see anything on here
No.
Before it goes through that process.
Absolutely.
That's
It
tremendous.
stays in our warehouse in a secure facility. We have to accumulate about 45,000 pounds, about 22 tons, which is a tractor-trailer load, before it goes to the paper mill in North Carolina. They send down a truck. It goes right from the truck right into the paper mill. And when this stuff gets dropped into the baler and it gets compressed into these huge blocks, there's no way of really putting 2 pieces of paper together.
Sure, it's all mixed together. All the
all
blocks
mixed
are. I mean, everything's mixed together. Yeah.
Right.
That's tremendous.
It's a much needed service, and
Your headquarters location is here in Horry County.
right. We founded it at Myrtle Beach, and we're located at the back gate, the former back gate of the Air Force Base, 1 traffic light south of it. And the sign outside says Shred Alert. We go by 2 names: Shred Alert and Shred Right.
Right.
Shred Right is our corporate name.
Sure.
The Shred Alert is what we're doing business as. We also are offering franchises nationwide.
Is that right?
That's
for
correct.
Shred Alert?
Shred Alert, correct.
So viewers could check that out online. Is it?
You can go to whyshred.com, W-H-Y,
right.
shred.com.
Okay, fantastic. Well, that's very important. Of course, a lot of viewers now, would you serve, I know you highlighted from New Hanover down to Georgetown. For our viewers in southeastern North Carolina, Robinson and Scotland County, or up in Florence, Marion, Dillon, Darlington, Marlborough counties, would you actually serve that area as well, or is that too far?
It depends on the
volume.
the volume that they would have.
Right.
Because what we want to do is give the best possible service to our local companies.
Sure.
We could branch out across the state, but then service starts to diminish.
Oh, yeah.
And especially with the price of fuel and the way the economy's going, and businesses are pinching pennies today.
Right.
They're wanting to look at the bottom line, and it may not be something that they may. So for us to drive all the way to Florence for one customer, but we are part of an association we call IDA, the Independent Document Destruction Association, and we work with other companies such as us.
Right.
They're in Florence, they're in Greenville, they're in Charleston, they're in Hilton Head, and we will share our customers and our accounts. So if they do have if a customer in Myrtle Beach may also be located in Florence, we'll call one of our
Peers.
Yeah, and they'll do the work out there.
But of course, if a viewer in Florence is watching and they contact you about possibly franchising there in Florence,
absolutely,
you'd consider that.
Sure.
And of course, the opportunity there to travel up there and essentially show them the business, or it's very easy for them to get down here and see your tremendous facility.
We have a whole plan in place that would require them to come here and work with us, and
right.
I would actually physically go to wherever their location is and stay with them for a few weeks. So
that's tremendous. How exciting. So they can learn about the franchising opportunities online at whyshred.com
that
as
is
well?
Correct. Yes.
How exciting, Adam. That's a great feeling to get the ball rolling so that you can actually set the stage for folks to open up franchises. And
Sure.
a great brand like Shred Alert
That's
surely
right.
makes it easy to do. This magnificent restaurant here, east of Chicago, of course, is a great franchise. Later this week, Perry Ludy will be with us, who owns the Dunkin' Donuts here in the 8-county market area, and has, in the same way, franchising opportunities are wonderful.
Absolutely.
That is great news. What about some other products here that can actually be shredded?
Well, not only do we shred paper, but we shred uniforms. We do uniforms for law enforcement,
right.
medical. We handle certain restaurants around here that
right.
have a lot of different locations where we'll destroy hats and ties, anything with the company name on. And you may say, why would you want to shred a uniform? Well, if a uniform gets damaged and tossed in the dumpster, somebody can put that uniform on, whether it's a restaurant uniform or a medical uniform or law enforcement, and impersonate that person.
Right.
And so that's one of the reasons. We also handle for the federal government out at the Transportation Security Administration. We do out at the airport. We shred uniforms for them too.
Is that right?
That's correct.
For the Myrtle Beach International Airport.
Yes. We also can shred computer diskettes.
Oh, great.
Any type of electronic media or videotapes.
Yeah, look
and
at this. These videotapes right there.
That's one videotape in there. That's what it looks like when it comes out.
Wow.
This is one. You can see how the tape gets destroyed.
Yeah,
There's no
absolutely. There is
recoverable
categorically
value.
no way that anyone could do anything with that.
And this is, I put 2 discs in here because the chips are so small.
Right,
You
you
can't
really
tell.
shred it up, yes.
And then this is a new service that we're providing. We just bought a new piece of equipment. A lot of people may not be comfortable with the hard drives in their computers being wiped or cleaned, as they call today.
Right.
Our machine actually punches a hole through the hard disk. Inside here would be a disk just like a CD-ROM, but it's very rigid and metal-like.
Right.
And the machine will punch through the hard drive, and it just shatters inside the hard drive. You can see the force in which
right.
it puts out when it comes out the other side. And then after we do this, we will send these to a recycling center that melts them and takes the precious metals. There's silver and gold and platinum on some of these connections, and they
right.
melt these things down. But the actual disc is completely destroyed. There's no way. As a matter of fact, the little piece of one just came out.
Sure.
There's no way.
No way that it can be utilized again.
And it's a very cheap service for people to come. This whole service is very inexpensive.
This is particularly to cover the federal regulations
Sure.
that all small businesses are under, and I think you highlighted probably nowhere north of 10% of the folks, even in our viewing area, are really thinking about those requirements. Is anyone calling on them to remind them they actually have to
Well,
destroy all that?
There's the law that came into effect several years ago called HIPAA, and everyone should be familiar with HIPAA
Sure.
because when you go to your physician's office now, you have to fill out some additional paperwork. But HIPAA affects not just the medical industry, but it can affect the hospitals, it can affect pharmacies,
Right.
nursing homes, anything with a person's name and a medical condition
Sure.
must be destroyed. And HIPAA came out strong, and HIPAA does remind
Right.
the medical industry that they should destroy.
That's right.
We do a lot of banks, doctors, lawyers, accounting firms, insurance company, and our busiest industry is the timeshare industry.
Is that right?
And when you think about timeshare, you think about like a project that may have 100 units in it,
Right.
but they sell one unit 52 times a year. So you have 52 sets of financial information, and 52 sets of Social Security numbers, and 52 sets of personal private.
Right.
So it lends itself to knowing you must destroy this stuff. If you toss it in the dumpster, the Supreme Court's ruled items left for waste collection are no longer protected as private property. So anybody can go into a dumpster, hence the phrase dumpster diver.
Right.
So we try to protect that.
Shred Alert still has the ability to actually shred their own site. For some companies that say, you know, I don't want you to leave with my stuff and take it to your warehouse here in Horry County, you still have the ability to do some basic shredding their own site if need be.
Sure, we purchased a brand new piece of equipment in 2008.
Right.
And it's a high-speed document destruction vehicle.
Right.
And we can show up right in your parking lot and destroy the records while you wait.
Sure, sure.
That's
I'm sure a
an
lot
issue.
of businesses aren't concerned about that. They know you're obviously doing all the shredding close by, and they're not worried about folks driving off with that information. I'm sure it's a secure truck. But for folks who might be concerned.
And there are, you know, when you think about, you already trust the Postal Service and couriers and armored car companies
Right.
to handle your most sensitive documents and records.
Oh, yeah.
Why not trust a professional shredding contractor to haul away your garbage, so to
Sure.
speak? So we haul it away. It's secured in a vehicle. It goes to a facility that's secured.
Right.
Alarms. It's got 16 cameras, monitored.
Tremendous.
And if a customer didn't want to come to the facility, I can give them a passcode. They can go online, see their stuff being brought in and shred just from their computer in their office.
That's tremendous.
So
Yes.
we try to offer everything we possibly can. It's just more cost efficient to do it in a warehouse-based system than
Right.
it would be to have these trucks on the road.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of companies don't want that big, noisy truck in their parking lot
Sure.
shredding papers, and you're still opening the container
Right.
in the parking lot. In the warehouse, they're locked containers. They get put in a locked truck. They're rolled into
Right.
the shop lock, and the only time it's open is under camera. So
That's
there's
tremendous.
an
Good.
argument either way, whether you want on-site or off-site.
This is an example of one of the pieces that would be in someone's business that you could literally, they dropping stuff in, and then you just pick this up and take it back to the warehouse.
That is correct. This is a new piece of a new container that we're offering, and you have to be a customer already
Right.
with the larger containers, and if you are, we offer this at a much reduced price, and this is for underneath your desk.
Right.
So if you're an insurance company, let's say, and your employees are handling personal information, they can just toss it in here. It's locked.
Right.
The manager would have the key in case something gets discarded.
Tremendous.
And we just pick this whole container up, put a new one down, and just move on. But this only costs $10 a month.
Is that all?
In our executive service, our
Right.
console service, we put in a container made of wood with a paper slot, a chute, and a locking door.
Right.
And it costs $35 a month. And you can put in anything, papers, records, staples, paper clips.
Right.
It doesn't matter. And you think about $1 a day. It's probably the least expensive service you can have in your business.
Right.
But mandated by state and federal law.
Sure.
And probably one of the most important to avoid a lawsuit. Because if you get charged with it, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fines.
Right.
And then you have potential for lawsuits when you go to, if your information got compromised and you can identify it happened at a certain facility, you know, it's going to take you 14 to 16 months just to clear your record again.
Absolutely.
And a lot of money. So,
Adam, I'm embarrassed to say I don't think I've done my job well this morning. We have run out of time, but
Okay.
thank you so much for being
Well,
with us
thank
this
you.
morning. I've sure learned a lot about ShredRite. Had no idea how reasonably priced it was. I'm so glad you got some of that out. Shred
Thank
Alert
you
is
so
really
much for
doing
having
some. Shred Alert is really doing some great things.
I sure appreciate
Keep
it.
it up. Stay tuned to a little more Carolina People with Adam Parness, the owner and founder of Shred Alert, coming up next. We ran out of time. We couldn't get into this Shred Alert not just being for businesses. It's also for residents. If you need to get something shredded, take the time to give them a call, 843-294-4400, 294-4400, or go online to whyshred.com. I love this quote right from the front page of whyshred.com of Adams. The safety and security of your sensitive documents is as important to me as it is to your company. But he's also talking to you residents. If you're in your home, you need to get something done, give him a call, 294-4400. We ran out of time. We couldn't focus on his recent trip to Israel and his tremendous experiences over there. We'll have to get him back another time. Adam Parness, doing a lot and doing it every day. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Absolutely.